right, controllers, we're at T-minus 30 seconds and counting. Let's take a close look.
CPUs look good. Logs in LH2 are pressurized.
10, 9.
Flight, we'll go for auto sequence.
Roger, Jerry.
Good luck and Godspeed, Atlas.
Thanks, Mitch.
3, 2, 1.
Propelled by 500,000 pounds of liquid fuel, the shuttle crew heads toward their initial destination. When the crew enters the Messiah, they will find a payload of 8 nuclear devices that will eventually be used to blow up the comet. The Messiah itself will be powered by an experimental nuclear propulsion system that was originally created for a very different purpose. That program was called Orion. Now, with the help of Russian engineers, a technology designed to propel weapons of mass destruction will power the ship that will intercept the greatest threat our planet has ever faced.
Orion burn in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay, Beth, White House reactions. Marianne, the whole world watching. We have enough satellite space?
Send me it up, please.
Tim, mission control in Houston. Ira, the science guys lined up.
If they got a PhD, we own it.
All right, this is the most important story of our lives. Let's not muck it up.
Stuart, what about me?
You're on the anchor deck.
What?
And you could have been there a lot sooner.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Don't ever hold back a story from me again. Messiah, Houston. Transfer trajectory is go. Cancel FCC-1. Your go to configure for coast.
Roger, Houston, we're looking good here.
Jesus, that's big.
Holy shit. Господи.
Wow. Sweet mother of God.
All circuit breakers are open. Master arm is off. Roger. And the detonator system is safe.
Messiah, Houston. Stand by for an uplink from the final mall coordinates. Confirm when complete.
We'll go, Houston.
Hey, how's it coming?
Loading first nuke now.
Feet to standoff. R dot 3, 5x, 2y. 500 feet. R dot 0.3, 3x, 1.5y. Go for auto trajectory. We're there.
Residuals are null.
Disengage Orion.
Orion disengaged. You're on Bifrost.
This is a special presentation of MSNBC News with Jenny Lerner.
Good evening. Sometime in the next hour, the Messiah mission will enter its most critical phase, the interception of Wolf Biederman and the setting of the nuclear devices that will deflect it off its collision course with Earth. But first, Captain Spurgeon Tanner will have to guide the spacecraft through the blizzard of rocks, sand, and ice that make up the comet's tail, or coma. The crew will have to complete its work before the sun rises.
Sublimator looks good, Mick.
Disengaging auto now. Eyeballs out from here on in.
How come that doesn't make me feel any better?
I heard that.
Lights on. Cameras on.
Mississippi River in Mark Twain's time, there were riverboat pilots who only knew a few miles of the river. Conditions changed so much you couldn't know the whole trip. Floods, sandbars, fallen logs. It was all a riverboat pilot could do was to know his little piece of the puzzle. So, for the next few hours, this is my ship. We start our approach.
Our images from cameras mounted inside the cargo bay of the Messiah. Now, these images are delayed by approximately 20 seconds due to the distance they must travel. Okay, you can see that the image is breaking up a bit. Houston is prepared for this. They've informed us that due to the uncertain makeup of the comet's coma, they're unsure whether or not transmission will be possible. Okay, now it appears we're losing reception here. Okay, we've lost picture now, but we will stay on the air. We'll stay with you through all of this.
Prop 96%. DAX descent.
Roger. Descent.
Oh my God. Look at these, the size of houses.
Yeah, I know. I say.
Jesus Christ. Prop 88%. Tap press 5.7. Negative guidance errors.
Primary thrusters.
Thrusters.
What's the descent rate?
3 feet per second. 2.
5-7 feet on.
He's on fire. She's leveling out. Depressurizing bay.
Opening payload doors. Don't let that little bit of gravity down there go to your heads. Okay. Start the pot.
If all is going according to schedule, the astronauts should now be placing the moles on the comet's surface. The moles are, well, they're what they sound like. They are drilling machines that burrow to a depth of 100 meters, where they wait to be detonated. Each one carries a 5,000 kiloton warhead.
How's our time?
It's getting tight. 136.30.
It's taking too long.
Yep.
What happens if they do not get off the comet's surface in time?
The sun striking the comet will cause the temperature to rise 350 degrees in just a few minutes, activate the high-speed gas jets. Well, if that happens, it will be like trying to work in a minefield.
Mark, what's your mole 4 readout? Mole 4 running true at 75 feet. Son of a bitch. What? It's stuck. Try backing it up.
What's your depth?
75 feet.
That enough?
No, that'll just break pieces off the surface.
That's not deep enough.
Yeah, fish, I know that's not deep enough. I'm going in. Orin, no. No, I'm gonna see if I can free it up. Standby tether attached. All right, I got you.
Orin, suit pressure 3.5.
Roger that.
That's it.
A little more.
Shut it down.
They always put extra in this tank.
Fish, shut it down.
Come on! Time!
102. Figure we better pick your kids up after school. Check your 100 yards.
I think we better hurry, boys.
All right, it's going, it's going. Hole's at 125 feet.
The sun's rising behind you. It's coming up fast.
Fire shields down.
Oh, Christ.
Get the hell out of there!
Get your visor down. All right, we got it.
Oh God, we're losing one. He's got escape velocity 1,000 feet and climbing.
Mark McHale, get the hell out of there! Primary thrusters.
Halo door's still open.
Close them as we go. Houston, all molds are at depth. Nuke's hot and ready. We lost Potenza to explosive outgassing. And Monash is injured.
We have to go get gas.
There's no time for that. Repressurize the cargo bay.
He's going to die out there. We can still find him. He has a beacon.
I don't have time to argue with you. Just sit down, be quiet.
I'm on the fucking locator.
Use most of our propellant to get us out of the coma.
We can't just leave him. We have to go back.
If we go back for Gus, we all die.
We can't just leave him in space.
Sit down. Sit down. It's okay.
The Messiah has safely lifted off the comet, but sadly Gus Partenza has been lost. Gus Partenza, a native of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and graduate of Carnegie Mellon University, joined the NASA space program shortly after completing his medical training at Duke University. Dr. Partenza was selected specifically for this mission, not only for his medical expertise, but also for his dedication to the advancement of space technology. With the loss of Dr. Gus Partenza and with Orrin Monash injured, Captain Spurgeon Tanner is now in charge of the mission. The Messiah has successfully docked with the Orion-powered boosters and is now prepared to detonate the bombs planted on Wolf Biederman. The Messiah's exterior-mounted camera will show us the detonation, but not before being temporarily blocked out by the nuclear blast. Once again, let me remind you there is a 20-second delay, so when the picture comes back to us, the comet should already have been knocked off its present course.
Prepare to remove safeties and fire.
Safeties removed. Weapons armed.
3, 2, 1, now.
So now we're just waiting for the picture to come back?
Decompression in Area 6.
Yes, I'm still here.
We're live in 10 seconds. Cue the president.
Mr. President, 5, 4, 3.
Hello, America. It is my unhappy duty to report to you that the Messiah has failed. This computer-enhanced radar image from Houston shows how the detonation succeeded, however, did not destroy the comet. There are now 2 pieces, one 6 miles wide, the other 1.5 miles. Both are still on the path towards Earth. We've lost communication with the Messiah spacecraft, although we continue to track it visually. We don't know how many are alive. We don't know their condition. Now we have to make some decisions together. What do we do? You have a choice. We have a choice. Right now. Ever since the comet was discovered, we've been hoping and working for the best. But we've also been planning for the worst. Our strategy has been twofold. First, our Strategic Missile Command is preparing to coordinate with the Russians a massive strike of Titan missiles to intercept the comets. If we can deflect these comets enough, they will bounce harmlessly off our atmosphere and head on out into space. Unfortunately, the Titans cannot be launched until the comets are only a few hours away. And while we are confident the missile attack will succeed, it is only prudent that we now take cautionary steps to ensure the continuation of our way of life, to guarantee that there will be enough of us left to rebuild a new world in the unlikely event that the comets do strike the Earth. So, in the soft limestone of Missouri, we've been preparing a network of immense caves, and they're almost finished. And we can put 1 million people in them. And that 1 million people can survive there underground for 2 years until the air clears and the dust settles. Now, the cave is more than a dormitory. It's our new Noah's Ark. We're storing seeds and seedlings, plants, animals, enough to start over. On August 10th, a computer will randomly select 800,000 Americans to join the 200,000 scientists, doctors, engineers, teachers, soldiers, and artists who have already been chosen. Other countries are preparing similar caves along whatever lines they feel are best to preserve their way of life. This is ours. Beginning tonight and continuing until the crisis passes, I am declaring a state of martial law. The armed forces and the National Guard are working with local law enforcement. A national curfew begins at midnight tonight. Now, wherever you are, go home. Stay off the roads after sunset. Crimes against persons or property will be dealt with swiftly and harshly. News stations around the nation are being faxed copies of the lottery procedure as we speak, and they'll be broadcasting the details to you in a few moments. I wish... No. Wishing is wrong. It's the wrong word right now. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, I believe in God. Relax. I know a lot of you don't, but I still want to offer a prayer for our survival, mine included. Because I believe that God, whomever you hold that to be, hears all prayers, even if sometimes the answer is no. So may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord lift up his divine countenance upon you and give you peace.
Ended. 5, 4, 3, 2.
We now have the details for the National Lottery. Those of you who have been pre-selected will be notified within the next few minutes. For the rest, on the night of August 10th, those whose social security numbers have been randomly selected by computer will be notified. While some Americans over 50 years of age have been pre-selected for the ARC due to their expertise in a necessary field of study, no men and women over 50 in the general population will be included in the lottery. The evacuation of those who have been selected for the ARC will take no longer than 2 days beginning on August 12th. During this 2-day period, no unofficial travel will be permitted. Those selected will be taken by bus and train to the underground ARC site by military personnel. Civil defense teams have been formed in every town with a population over 5,000. They will distribute supplies and organize group shelters in underground parking facilities and other appropriate sites. Construction plans, equipment lists, and locations for securing the necessary
Hello?
provisions, along with
Yes, this is Ellen
information on
Biederman.
how to grow your own food underground and how to purify water, are now available on the internet at
We've been pre-selected.
Chuck, where are you going?
From our phone, they could be calling.
Beginning on August 9th. The only phones that ring will be those of the people selected. That's it. That's all there is.
The interior camera circuitry is shot. So, Andy, can we get back into the cargo bay to reroute the video functions?
Starboard cargo porthole's blown. You could go in with the EVAs, but there's not much left in the life support packs.
We should be able to raise Houston on the low band once we get closer.
The Orion is still functioning?
System check was okay, but I don't know about the radiation shielding.
So if we fire it up, we beat the comet back to Earth. But we may end up glowing in the dark. Okay, so, anybody?
Let's go home.
I have to say, it's liberating knowing that I'm not going to be called. I don't think I've ever been happier. I've even stopped smoking.
What are you going to do with all that extra money you save?
Do you know the National Gallery is saving all of the art? They're shipping it to the caves. I've given them my beautiful 18th century desk from New England and all the shirt and silver. I really feel like I'd protected something when I gave them. You should see my apartment. There's nothing there. It's practically Japanese.
Seems kind of unfair that I got picked. You know, I'm not a doctor or a scientist.
People need continuity. Everyone knows you, and they trust you.
But I can't help you.
Don't worry about me. I'm going to be happy as long as I know you're going to live.
Mr. Hotchner?
Who did I think I was going to be when I bought that bike?
Wow. Every kid on the block wants one now. Every parent on the block hates you for it.
Well, thank you, Leo. That's the best news I've had in years.
Sir.
Can you give me a hand over here for a second?
Yes, sir.
I just want to get these bars up.
Hello, Mrs. Hotchner.
Florida, a mob attacked and killed a Miami rental yard operator who was charging $5,000 an hour for backhoe and tractor rentals.
Same old
Marines
crap on
had
the
to
TV.
stop
I'm sick of it, you know?
Arizona?
Mrs. Hotchner?
Sarah's on the hill.
Thank you. Where were you today? I've been looking all over for you. Why weren't you at school?
My dad said I didn't have to go. He said there's no point.
I talked to Civil Defense. They said if you and I got married, we'd be family, and I could get you in.
Well, what about my parents? They're not your family. I don't want to go without my parents.
You don't have to. I'm the famous Leo Biederman, and I haven't used my fame for anything. But I got them to let your family go, too. This is is your only chance to survive.
Across the country, looters continue to set fire to abandoned stores. Fires have been left to burn since many firefighters have been called to help repair shelters. Throughout Latin America's major cities, business districts have been abandoned for gangs, military airlifts have been ruled out as too dangerous. More street fighting in Moscow as food and fuel shortages continue.
Believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall understand fully, even as I am before others. Take Sarah to be your wife, to have to hold, from this day forward, or better for worse, a journey to love and to cherish. I pronounce you husband and wife.
How you feeling? Yeah. All right. I want to tell you something. You children didn't bring any real books to read. Did you know that? I brought Moby Dick and Huckleberry Finn, and Baker and Simon had never read them. Now, I'm afraid to ask you, have you ever read Melville or Twain?
Hey, I'm a child of the movies, Fish.
Okay, I see. So, you got a shitty deal, Laura. You know that. You really did.
Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I mean, that really... Don't worry about me. My whole life, You know, just for guys like us. You and I, we're the same.
I mean by that.
Gotta be the best.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Be the best. Sometimes I see flashes of light, you know, like colors. I fall asleep and I dream. But there's a part of me that's always awake. And I can see myself dreaming. I'm seeing things differently, Fish.
That's good. That's good.
Fish. Why the hell do they call you Fish?
Yeah. Spurgeon, sturgeon, fish. I mean, it took about 15 minutes of my first day at the Naval Academy. Yeah.
Your kids go there?
Yeah, they did. They did. And they're good men, both of them. I don't see as much of them as I used to when Mary was alive.
You don't have to talk about it. It's okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You're a married man. You know what it's like. I mean, every marriage has its good years and its bad years. We ended on a great year. Yeah. Anyway, let's get started. Moby Dick Chapter 1. Call me a guy. Several years ago, never mind how long precisely. Had a little no money in my purse. Nothing grim about the mouth. Whenever it is a damp, drizzly November in my soul. Those hats off. Then, I accounted high time to get to see you as soon as I can.
Listen up. Right there. Peterman. Yeah, that's us. IDs, please. There's 4 of us. Lewis?
This is my wife, Sarah. We have a marriage license.
Right here. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's move it out.
Mom, wait. Sir, my parents are coming too.
Wait. The Hotchners. The Hotchners are coming too. H-N-E-R.
No, it's not here.
No. It has to be there. Fick just sent their names to the White House.
Not there. Just check the goddamn list again, please, sir. Neil, give me your bag.
They must be there.
Ellen, give me your bags, please. No, they're not on the list. I'm sorry. Let's go. We have to go.
Sir, you understand?
Can you check it one more
I put you on the
time?
list. They said your names are on the list. Sarah, I put them on the list.
We're not on the list.
No, but
I need the Biedermans on the bus now.
I want to stay with you.
What?
No.
Get her on the bus.
No. I need to stay with you.
Sarah, you need to go.
No, I have to stay with you.
Listen, I'm not going anywhere
Please, can you
without you.
understand?
You don't know what she's doing. Come or stay, young lady. This bus is moving on.
Parents.
On the bus. Get on the bus.
Jack, we'll work it out when we get there.
Danny,
Chris.
there's a phone call for you.
Yes, this is she. It's Robin Lerner, my mother. When? 61. I'll come down there then. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jenny, do you want to do something?
Too late. Already took care of everything.
Come inside the car. You're getting sick. Please. I want to talk to you. Please, come.
I don't give a shit. Go home and tell it to Chloe.
I can't. She left me. She's with her mother. They both got scared. Come. I want to talk to you. I need you.
How does it feel? I feel like an orphan.
Danny!
I'm section leader for Orange 254. Remember that. It's where you'll be calling home the next 2 years. So gather your things and follow me to the orientation gallery.
Section officer. Report to section red 116. Once again, if you have been designated as a civilian section officer, report to section red 116 upon entry.
Leo. I'm not coming.
Leo, come with us right now.
I have to go back for Sarah.
Leo.
Mom, I'm going.
John, what are you doing?
Giving him something to trade, that's what I'm doing. This?
That's enough.
Take care of yourself, okay? I'm gonna make it.
What about Intricate?
I don't know. He hasn't returned my call in over 2 weeks.
Excuse me, Jenny.
Yeah?
Your father's here.
Hello.
Oh.
I can't stay long. I'm leaving the city, but I wanted to show you something. I wanted to show you that you're not an orphan. I have proof that you're not an orphan. Here. Look.
Where's Mom?
Behind the camera.
She took this?
Mm-hmm. This one, too. She was such an artist, don't you think so? You don't remember when you take them, hmm?
I'm 5 years old. How would I remember that?
Well, some people do remember when they're 5 years old. It was such a beautiful day. All alone on the beach. And of course she would have been in the picture. But there was no one else to hold the camera. And she insisted. You know how she is. How she was. Jenny. It was such a good day for all of us. Do you remember? Keep them. Goodbye.
We have now confirmed the launch of all the Titan missiles from their positions in North Dakota and Wyoming. The comets are now approximately 14 hours outside of Earth's atmosphere, and we are told it should take these missiles less than 20 minutes to reach their target.
Okay, here's what we're looking at. All of the Titans have been launched. We still won't know if they've made a difference. The comets have to travel for a while before the radar tracking stations can see if they've been pushed to a safe course that'll bypass the Earth. So, one more time, we have to wait.
Are we on?
We're on, Mr. President.
Our missiles have failed. The comets are still headed for Earth. And there's nothing we can do to stop them. So this is it. If the world does go on, it will not go on for everyone. We have now been able to calculate the comet's final trajectories, and we have determined where they're going to strike. The smaller of the two comets, Biedermann, will hit first. Somewhere along the Atlantic seaboard, probably in the waters off the coast of Cape Hatteras, in just under 12 hours at 4:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The impact of the comet is going to be, well, disastrous. There will be a very large tidal wave moving quickly through the Atlantic Ocean. It'll be 100 feet high, traveling at 1,100 miles an hour. It's faster than the speed of sound. As the wave reaches shallow water, it's going to slow down, but the wave height, depending on the depth of the shelf off the coast, will be anywhere from 1,000 to 3,500 feet high. Where the land is flat, the wave will wash inland 600 to 700 miles. The wave will hit our nation's capital 40 minutes after impact. New York City, Boston, Atlanta, Philadelphia, all will be destroyed. If you have any means of getting away from the path of this wave, leave now. The impact of the larger comet will be nothing less than an extinction-level event. It will strike land in western Canada 3 hours after Biedermann. Within a week, the skies will be dark with dust from the impact, and they will stay dark for 2 years. All plant life will be dead within 4 weeks. Animal life within a few months. So that's it. Good luck to us all.
Could I bother everyone for a minute? Let's take a look at the big one. Now, the outgassing has created a vent a half-mile wide and at least 2 miles deep. The comet gets closer to the sun melts ice, ice turns to steam, you get a big hole. Okay? So, how many nukes do we have left of that? 4. Okay, if we can get the remaining bombs in that vent, there shouldn't be anything left of that comet bigger than a suitcase. Now, we can't do anything about the little one, but, it just might give them a chance. Now, without the Army codes, we're going to have to wait to set the bomb timers until we get closer to Earth to raise Houston.
We may not have enough life support left to get back into the cargo bay for the nukes, much less to look down on the comet.
We sure as hell don't have enough propellant left in the Messiah to maneuver with. How are we supposed to get back off the surface once we've gone down there? We don't.
Hey, look at the bright side. We'll all have high schools named after us.
Houston, this is Messiah. Houston, this is Messiah.
Nice of you to call, Messiah. We're just beginning to wonder what the hell you were doing up there.
Admiring the view, Houston.
Fish, is that you?
Yep, we don't have time to talk, Houston. There's nothing we can do about the smaller one, but we do have a plan. We need the Army codes for the last 4 nukes.
Army codes? What the hell for?
Mitch, we can do or we can teach. What's your pleasure?
Get the Army codes. Get the goddamn codes!
We have 1 helicopter, holds 7 people. We can ferry 6 people to high ground in West Virginia and take Jenny to the Ark. Short stick goes.
I always thought it was women and children first.
If you get the short one, you can give up your seat.
Thank God.
Well, that makes sense.
I'm sorry, Beth.
There's always a road. We'll be okay. Come on. That's
Okay, that's it.
Sarah! Sarah!
Where's the key?
No, wait.
What are you doing?
We have to go now. Come on. Come on!
Jenny, we have to go.
The road was so crowded, it was obvious we weren't going to make it, so I thought, well, the wave does come that we should be here because she likes it here. And I mean, we're on the 15th floor, so maybe we'll be okay. You say goodbye to Jim. What are you doing?
Come on.
Jim, come on, go, Katie. Oh, my God, Katie. No, Katie.
She's going with you! What? You're taking my seat!
Come on!
Go!
Go, come on, go!
Get her in there! I'm not going!
What do you mean you're not going?
I'm not going, Aaron! Go!
You don't have any time. You have to go now.
No. Put this on. Daddy, what are you doing? I want you to take the baby. What? No.
Yes, no arguments.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. That is good, honey. Mom. Sweetheart, listen to me. Let go. Put this on. I love you. I love you too. I always love you.
I love you.
Take care, honey. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon.
Get out of here, Neil. Go to high ground.
When I was 11, I took $32 from your wallet.
When you were a baby, I once dropped you on your head.
When you came to the studio and you brought those pictures, I lied when I said I didn't remember. I remember everything. I remember that we were right over there, and that's when Mom got that picture of the house. It was a perfect, happy day. I came down here to let you know that.
Thank you.
I've missed you since then.
I miss you too.
This is Messiah. We're ready to begin our run. Are our families there yet?
They're on the way, Messiah.
Disengage autopath. Here we go.
We're at perigee. Wolf contact in 4 minutes, 45 seconds.
We'll never be closer to home than we are right now.
Come on.
Sam, get some people here who want to talk to you. Wendy, honey. You promise me you keep doing your church thing. And I'll be there. Right next to you. Haunting you.
You better come back and haunt me. I love you.
Where's Mommy? Come on, Mommy.
Take care, Daddy, for me, okay?
Well, she does a good job. She misses Mommy.
I miss you.
I love you, Mommy.
I love you very, very much. You know what I want to say?
I know.
Wolf contact in 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Warren, Marianne's at your folks' place up in Utah. We sent a plane for her, but she isn't here yet. Fish, your sons are both on active duty. We tried to get him back, but we couldn't get him here on time. I'm sorry.
Well, Mitch, I want to say goodbye to Mary. I want to tell her I love her. And ever since we've been apart, every day, I think about her. Mary, I'm coming home.
Coming up on target 625 miles. Range 600 miles. Wait! Oh God, wait! Wait! I'm coming! Warren! Warren, are you there?
Harriet, I'm here. I can hear you.
Sweet.
Harriet?
Baby, this is your father. His name is Oren. I named him after you.
Hello, Warren.
Show him what you brought him.
He's holding up a little rocket.
It's a mighty powerful rocket you got there. I can hear him, I know. Mary, I'm hugging you both right now. I'm holding you.
25 seconds.
Prepare to synchronize the nukes.
23. 22. 21. 19. 18. 17. 15.
Pleasure serving with you, Commander.
The honor's all mine, Andy.
Be good. Warren. Be good.
As the bombs shattered the second comet into a million pieces of ice and rock that burned harmlessly in our atmosphere and lit up the sky for an hour. Still, we were left with the devastation of the first. The waters reached as far inland as the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. It washed away farms and towns, forests and skyscrapers. But the water receded. The wave hit Europe and Africa too. Millions were lost. Countless more left homeless. But the waters receded. Cities fall but they are rebuilt. And heroes die, but they are remembered. We honor them with every brick we lay, with every field we sow, with every child we comfort, and then teach to rejoice in what we have been re-given. Our planet, our home. So now, let us begin.